welcome to Drew's Reviews. In today's film, we'll be discussing Final Destination Bloodlines. This is the 6th installment in a long-running horror franchise directed by Zach Lebowski and Adam B. Stein. When a chilling event from decades past resurfaces, a young woman who finds herself at the center of a deadly mystery that has stalked her family for generations. So I was curious about this franchise. I'd say about 5 years ago. I binged watched all of them. I'm not the biggest fan of these movies.
Son, you know, once you start, there's no going back.
The first one was okay. I didn't like the way they handled the other 4. And don't get me wrong, the first one I still was a little iffy about. I didn't really love the film at all. I was just like, this is okay. And then I continued watching the rest of them.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay?
And it was pretty painful for me to get through it, but I did it. So going into this film, my expectations were very low. I did not expect this movie to be good whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
Especially because it has this one concept that they beat to death through all 5 of the other films, with a simpler way of putting it, death being the slasher, like a Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees.
Then you can just drop f***ing dead.
Anyway, very low expectations, but I'm glad to say that I did enjoy myself. There were 2 directors for this film, Zach Lebowski and Adam B. Stein, and I thought both of them worked together great. In the earlier movies, my biggest problem was the story. They just were so boring.
So that was a f***ing lie.
And just like a last minute thought to me. Whereas in this film, I believe the directors and the writers made a solid story overall. It still wasn't the best story ever, but it was pretty solid. You actually cared about the characters, whereas in the earlier installments, I didn't care about the characters whatsoever because they're all horrible characters, maybe except for the main protagonist, but they were all pretty much dumb to me and could have done things differently. So I was just rooting for death to kill all of these people. And that's kind of the main reaction that the directors and writers in those earlier installments wanted to get out of you anyway. They want you to be entertained by how they come up with these crazy ways of killing all of these people, or how death is using all of these practical things to cross people out of his death note, so to speak. So I've always understood what they were going for. Hey, this is Drew, the editor. To clarify, I understand the directors and writers want the audience to root for death in the interesting ways that he's killing off these characters. I get that, but that's not the reaction they got out of me. For me, I'm rooting for death in the way that I want this movie to end sooner. So the sooner death can kill these characters, the sooner I can stop watching this film. And that's a big part that separates those earlier entries from this entry now. Yes, I could turn it off, but I'm a completionist, so it was do or die. In this movie, they had a decent enough story for you to follow and kind of root for the characters and not make all the characters these irritating people. Also, they did a really good job with the practical effects and CGI with all the blood and gore and everything. The sound mixing was really well done, just the way things would hit and pop and all of that. The sound mixing was wonderful. And like I said before, we're all here for the kills, and I thought they did a really good job with the kills. Not every single one. Some of them, they were kind of like trying to pull at your nostalgia. For me, I was just like, okay guys, we understand. But other than that, the kills, I thought they were pretty gruesome and fun and made people hide their eyes and scream and squeam and all of that. I thought they did a really good job with that. Some of it was pretty funny as well. If you watch these type of movies, you know what I mean.
Maybe death's not actually coming for our family. Because that would be crazy.
The acting, some actors could have did better, other actors were okay. The main protagonist, Caitlin Santawana, she was really good. I liked her. I feel the writers and directors did a really good job molding her character and giving her that motivation that she had to get the story going. I thought her brother, Tio Brianos, I believe that's how you say his name, did a really good job. Owen Joyner, he plays their cousin. Him and Richard Harmer, I thought their dynamic was good just because they were there for that comedic effect, especially that scene in the hospital. If you see the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I thought that part was very funny. This was really well done, but that's all contained inside of this type of franchise. Again, even though this movie did a good job with the story, but it just did better than those earlier movies. Not that it's the best horror movie in that regard of story, but just contained within its own franchise, I believe it's the best one out of all of them. I'm more of a Saw franchise guy anyway, and even though I don't like every Saw movie, but I enjoy them way more than I do with this franchise. But I understand why a lot of people that are cult followers for this franchise will like the earlier entries. It's just not my taste.
I mean, it's alright, like...
This film did what it was supposed to. You got some of the laughs. Not all the jokes hit. A lot of them were hit or miss. The kills were pretty good, and the story was pretty decent. So I'm going to give Final Destination Bloodlines a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed this one, but it's just good contained within its own franchise. Thank you for tuning in to my review of Final Destination Bloodlines. Please like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what's your favorite Final Destination film. I would love to hear your thoughts. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.